Hey gang, it was kind of chilly this morning, so I put on my hoodie and I'm hiding out here in the bathroom so I don't get shot. And from now on I'm going to do the occasional review of older, more influential industrial albums just to round out the channel. And I'm starting with Nine Inch Nails' Pretty Hate Machine. There's something about industrial music from the 80s that really seems to cut to the heart of what industrial music is to me. There's something about the drum machine sounds and the very bleepy bloopy synth sounds that gives 80s industrial that very sort of DIY sound that sets it apart from the overproduced ultra-plastic 80s top 40 radio stuff. And Pretty Hate Machine by Nine Inch Nails is a pretty representative example of that. I once read an interview with Trent Reznor in which he was saying that some metalheads really liked his live show at Lollapalooza, but then they bought his album and were disappointed that it was synth-fag music. But I've always found that synthesizers added a certain kind of darkness and harshness to industrial music that can't be reproduced by conventional instruments. Head Like a Hole is probably the best known song from this album. That song, pretty much all on its own, could have carried Nine Inch Nails into the mainstream. It has that great gritty sort of texture to it, but it is still a very sort of simple, traditionally structured song. It gets stuck in your head and has lyrics that angsty young people can't help but enjoy belting out. And while Trent Reznor doesn't have the most intimidating growly voice that is common to other singers in industrial music, he does have this great kind of high-pitched yell that really fits the mood. Terrible Lie has a lot of the same strengths as Head Like a Hole, but with the added bonus of having an anti-religious subtext. Down in It is probably the closest Nine Inch Nails has ever gotten or will ever get to rap. And while it is a little cheesy sounding, that little synth riff that Trent says he ripped off from Dig It by Skinny Puppy is very endearing. Sin is another song that has a chorus with a great hook. It also has a fantastically bizarre video with its strap-ons and labia piercings. Head Like a Hole and Down in It also have these fantastic videos with these really great outdated looking effects that make me feel wistful whenever I see a video with that little bit of distortion on the picture of an overplayed VHS. Even now I still see the occasional girl with the logo for the Sin single tattooed on her somewhere, and that makes me smile. Even the songs that aren't that great, like Sanctified, still give me kind of a nostalgic feeling. It kind of reminds me of the older stuff that KMFDM used to do. The few guitar parts that are in that song are very sort of Gunter Schultz-esque. When I first found this album in high school, my favorite song on it was The Only Time. Not just because of the lyrics about the devil fucking Trent in the back of his car. I also just love that squelchy synth riff that's in there that was so awesomely 80s sounding. There's a newer remastered version of this album that I have yet to hear, but apparently it includes Get Down Make Love, which was originally released on the Sin single. I like that they added that song because it is quite good and it's a bit more aggressive sounding in a way that shows the direction Nine Inch Nails ended up taking with the much more guitar-oriented EP that they released just after Pretty Hate Machine. So if you haven't heard this one, go dig it up somewhere because it is kind of interesting to hear how Nine Inch Nails sort of started out.